Thank you and good afternoon. Welcome to the Royal Yacht and indeed to this extra critical lunch briefing, which is over and above that of our previous March lunch. It's great to have your company. It's good to see so many familiar and also different faces to one of our lunches if you've not been before. This is how we roll once a month. It's good to have your company. My name is Murray Norton. Very shortly I'll introduce our President. Before that, just a quick update on things that have been going on. It's been an extremely busy time since we were last with you. I did at the last lunch actually talk about the fact that we do both challenge government and work with government in fairly equal measures, or at least we try to make sure there is equity there. On the success side, you may well have heard of a memorandum of understanding that has come about between the government of Antigua and Barbuda and the island of Jersey. It relates to hospitality, not the subject today, but just to let you know, this was something that came about at a chamber briefing, at a chamber committee, and that was the Tourism Venues and Attractions Group, where it was suggested that we should look into other areas. There is other great work going on. This is not a silver bullet at all, nor is anyone claiming it to be for hospitality staff. It is just the sum of its parts. However, that work led to the External Relations Department looking at areas around the world, around the globe, that may have available staff in their low season, which is our high season. That then led to the government of Jersey and the government of Antigua and Barbuda getting together, forming a memorandum of understanding. The Jersey Hospitality Association and ourselves, the Chamber of Commerce, were proud to be part of that, and we hope that that is just one of the many steps that is going forward. There is other extremely good work going on, and I wanted to make mention particularly of one company, GR8, and the work that they do and the recruitment that they do in parts of the globe, which they're doing an extremely good job on as well. We're very proud of them to be a Chamber member, and in the next coming weeks we'll be doing a webinar on the work that they're doing as well. So I just wanted to acknowledge that in that level of equality. From all of that, I won't say too much else, except it is extremely good to see you here and to see people in person. We're still getting used to all of that. And in person as well is our President. Will you please welcome our President, Jennifer Carnegie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Absolutely fantastic to see yet another full house at a chamber lunch, and it always amazes me. You think you know people on this island, you know lots of people, and you come to a lunch and you know there's an awful lot of people here that I've never met before. So every lunch we have a very different crowd. So you're very welcome. I hope you enjoy it. So as we sit down to lunch here today to further the cause of commerce and economic activity in Jersey, something the Chamber has been actively engaged in actually for more than 250 years, we must spare significant thoughts for the people in Ukraine. Their country is being ravaged by Putin's Russia in a fashion more reminiscent of Ivan the Terrible in 1540 than Europe in 2022. It's utterly awful, and it marks a turning point, I think, in modern civilization. I don't know about any of you, but it makes me angry that through complacency, the want for political leadership and sensible investment in both deterrence and self-reliance in energy, the West has invited Putin's self-seeking brutality. The consequences for our economies, energy costs, supply chains, and migration could be very acute for us over the next few years. The world our children will inherit will be forever scarred by our inability to learn from history. According to the philosopher John Stuart Mill, speaking in the 1860s, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. And yet again, in the past few years of Putin's aggression, we have done nothing. None of the current bluster about supporting Ukraine to the very last drop of its own blood can reverse this avoidable tragedy. Looking domestically now, though, we have some persistent challenges of our own that have so far eclipsed our ability to resolve them. None more persistent, perhaps, than the vexed question of Jersey's hospital. We're very fortunate, we will be very fortunate to welcome Senator Lyndon Farnham when he gets here to speak to us about this today after lunch. His chamber is sitting today, the estates are sitting today, so he is finishing up some votes and he'll come hightailing in. Murray has a copy of his speech just in case there's a drama. Something's never changing, yeah. So, this is, of course, the hospital is a very critical issue for our community's health and well-being, and one that demands very significant public investment. Health and the economy are inextricably linked, with a good deal of evidence showing that investing in health and healthcare systems is clearly beneficial for achieving economic objectives. So our island's hospital is important on many different levels. There's a strong temptation to dwell on what has gone before. Much of the commentary in the press and on social media is mudslinging about previous decisions and efforts to push through plans that for some are just too controversial. Surely we now have to pull together, think ahead, and find a preferred plan that will work. We need to find a way through this as a community. This is not a straightforward matter with an obvious solution. Rather, it feels to be a compromise between a range of suboptimal options. Yet again, this will be a tricky topic for the next Chief Minister and his or her government, for this has dragged on for far too long. Chamber will continue to support the government with frank advice from the viewpoint of our membership. The start point for that support will be understanding the government's approach, so we much look forward to hearing what Senator Farnham has to say. I should add that Lyndon has been a close ally of the Chamber throughout the COVID crisis. We've had a very constructive dialogue on economic policy that has allowed us to feed in the sentiments from you, our membership, and shape the government's response. The result was a timely and generous programme for support to businesses, and it's quite clear that without it, many businesses would have been forced into administration. So we're very grateful for the strength of that relationship and look forward to it continuing. I'd like to echo what Murray said and finish on another positive note about, you know that Chamber has been pretty voluble in supporting the tourism and hospitality industry, which has been as badly affected by the pandemic as any commercial sector. And as Murray said, we were instrumental in securing the partnership agreement between Jersey and Antigua and Barbuda for 100 trained hospitality workers to come here to augment our tourism and hospitality workforce, which begins in April. This initiative was announced last week, and it offers the beginnings of a real prospect of stemming the staffing shortfalls that are plaguing the industry at the moment. This is vital if the tourist experience is going to be a positive one that preserves the reputation of Jersey as an attractive holiday destination. There are secondary issues, of course, that of accommodation and the cost of living for those workers and for other islanders, and we must face into those. But we are one step closer to having a successful hospital sector for the forthcoming season and a model for bringing in skilled labour if it's needed and when it's needed in other sectors. We can't run these events at Chamber without sponsorship. And I would like to say a huge thank you to today's sponsors who've asked me to say a few words on their behalf, so you're stuck with me for another couple of minutes, unfortunately. Rock FCC JV were appointed in June 2020 by the Government of Jersey as the design and delivery partner to the Our Hospital project. The joint venture between Rock Limited and infrastructure specialists FCC Construction combines the best of local and global construction experience and resources. Together, the JV team works with government, local stakeholder groups and islanders to progress Jersey's most important infrastructure project in a generation. Throughout 2021, the project team engaged with and consulted islanders, whose input has been instrumental in shaping the design and planning application for Jersey's new hospital. Islanders across all 12 parishes got involved, with over 10,000 islanders visiting the project's virtual exhibitions, more than 500 residents, businesses and stakeholder groups attending project meetings, and around 1,600 islanders conversed with the project team over email. In building its supply chain, the Chamber of Commerce is really pleased that Rock FCC JV has a Jersey-first approach to procurement. Since last summer, they continue to engage with local suppliers, contractors and industry groups via expressions of interest and meet the buyer events. Social value-wise, the JV and Our Hospital teams are investing in Jersey's young people via the education sector. Through its Built Environment Apprenticeship programme, they currently support 3 apprentices who started with the project in September 2021, and they have places for 3 more apprentices. Partnering with Mind Jersey and Highlands College, the team developed and embedded a mental health and wellbeing module into every construction course being taught at Highlands today. Partnering with Skills Jersey, the team is sponsoring a teacher to deliver the Design, Engineer, Construct course at both Holia School and Highlands College. In addition, the Our Hospital project is the industry adopter for Holia School. This means that once or twice a week, the students receive a classroom visit from a member of the project team. Whether it's via Teams call or an in-person visit, the team are always happy to share their specialist skills, experience and career passions with Jersey's youngsters. The school report is in, and the team are proud to announce their 100% attendance record at Holia. In the first 20 weeks of this academic year, the Our Hospital project team has invested over 40 hours towards working with Jersey's future talent. The whole project team is passionate about inspiring and investing in Jersey's future designers, its engineers and construction workforce. We happen to have some of them in the room with us today. Please join me in welcoming Holia students Amy and Finlay, who are sitting over there, and their teacher Simon, sitting next to them, who's just been nominated. Simon has just been nominated for the teacher category of the Digital Jersey Awards 2022. Well done and welcome. The ROC FCC joint venture team are proud and committed to work with the Government of Jersey and deliver Jersey the hospital it deserves and needs, especially for the island's hard-working healthcare providers. So very many thanks to ROC FCC JV team for your support today. We wish you much success for an on-time, under-budget, that you can manage it, delivery of a fantastic new hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. Please enjoy your lunch.